Hi guys, my name's Trebuchet, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain, and welcome back to Conan Exiles. Now, we've been away for a little bit, and there have been a couple of updates to the game, one of which actually seems to caused an awful lot of crash bugs, at least for me, because it's taken me a little while to get this running today, because they had the patch with some traps and things put in. They had the patch with some siege stuff and some building stuff put in, and then they had a patch afterwards which I don't exactly know what was in it. I think it might have just been fixes, but since then I've actually had every 2 or 3 times, or maybe the first couple of times I've tried to load up the game, it's crashed on me. I don't know whether or not that's just because of how much there is in my game now, or whether there's another problem, but it wasn't happening before, but it is happening now. So if things break halfway through, I apologise. Hopefully it won't though, because I've got some stuff to show to you today. Now, the stuff that I want to show to you, I've got a couple of ideas on stuff to do with the traps and some of the orb grenade things that they've added to the game that seem really cool. But I've been away for a while, as said, and so as a result, I've had a fair amount of time to work on some of these things, or rather, I've been away from showing you guys what I'm doing in this game. And so as a result, though, the thing that I want to talk about now is the Purge. Now, the Purge, they have said, is going to be these huge armies, NPC armies, that will sweep across the map and will try and take us out. Yeah? They're going to be this big periodic threat that is a more human threat than the sandstorm. And so I've talked before about ways that I feel that we can defend ourselves and stuff like this, but considering that they have just put in some more stuff to do with building to defend against sieges, as well as to work with sieges and stuff like that in one way or another, I figured that I'd start off at building a bit of a fortified structure here. Now, it's granted still not finished, there's still more for me to do, but you guys should know by now that I enjoy building out in the middle of water, because NPCs tend to stop on the edge of water and they do not tend to follow you, in which case I felt a huge tower in the middle of one of the largest bodies of water just down here on the map would be far and beyond one of the best things to do with it. But also there are other things that they have added. Now, I tried to use the horizontal elevator to go from there to here, but unfortunately it didn't seem to want to snap. It couldn't seem to find its path. So we'll just swim across, because the island here I have now completely fortified. There is a ring wall around the entire thing, and this will be part of our main base from now on in this biome. I intend to build in the other 2 biomes that are coming. A couple of other large kind of anti-purge structures that should be really easily defended against. And this is the thing. I realize right now that I'm taking advantage of some of the lackluster AI that is in the game at the moment, and I know full well that the devs have said that they are getting, I think it was Joel Bylos who said that they were getting other guys who are more familiar with the Unreal Engine that this game runs on to come along and help them with the AI. But at the moment, for instance, I deliberately built this off the ground. Somewhat off the ground. Why? Because I can jump... Oh, he says, I can jump in it like that. The NPCs don't tend to jump that much. So even if they smash the gate in, they might have to also... Yeah, well, firstly, if they manage to get out of the water, and then if they smash the gate in, they might still be stuck on the foundation. But yeah, so I was thinking, one of the best things that we could do to defend our wall would be to have, well, there's our thrall generating wheel there, which we will be making good use of at some point. But I have built a good platform all the way around that I will be placing archers and other fighters and things like that on to defend our new main home. And as a result, though, that should be a first big deterrent. But let's say that somehow the NPCs firstly manage to swim, secondly manage to jump, and thirdly manage to defeat an entire ring wall's worth of archers and other NPCs that I will be adding into this area here, and possibly taking on that shale back as well and winning. In which case we've got our main entry point here, whereby we can come up here, have a look around. We will have more archers up here. The wall is slightly lower, but then we also have this wire running all the way out, and that is one of the horizontal innovators, one of the new things that they've added. And I found some fun stuff to do with this. First off, there is a chain to summon it, but looking in here, you cannot reach it, you cannot find it, in which case it is hidden, in fact, on the outside wall, because whilst that is in no way what I intended to happen, it happened and I've had to deal with it. So there's that. But also, we'll have this roll in, and then we can get on our way, and I can show you the rest, because I've learned things from this. The stuff that I've learned more so than anything else is about the way that the stability system works in the game, and the way that you have to build in order to get the best out of your structures, or to make sure that they're even, or to whatever else. You know, there have been like, the higher this thing went, as you can see, there are parts up there that get a little blocky, they kind of stick out and whatever else. That was me trying to take advantage of as much space as possible, but it becomes difficult. Now, I've built this here as a little, like, bottleneck, just in case people manage to get across from there, or if they manage to swim, or if they manage to break things. Now, there was one problem that I had with this, which is the new drawbridge, and that is that I built all of this. The first few levels, I'll admit this straight away, the first few levels of this were all those walls that I was building and, like, farming up and keeping off at the slave camp, but after a point I realised that it was going to be nowhere near enough. And so I'll admit I spawned in a fair number, mostly for the core. The top and the bottom were mostly my own doing, but the core of the tower there was kind of for other bits and pieces that I spawned in. But in regards to this bit here, you can see that the foundations that are actually holding this drawbridge up are they're unfortunately tier 1 resources. They're just the sandstone stuff instead of the sand brick or the reinforced stone. And for some reason, even though they said that they had changed it, they seem to have only changed it for the tier 1 material. So the drawbridge, even though it's a tier 3 kind of gateway and everything else, it just didn't want to sit on the edge for any of those other materials, for any of the other foundation sets. And so as a result, I had to resort to using this. As and when they fix that, as and when they review it, then I'll probably take a look, and I'll have to replace it. You know, I've tried to build it out a little bit so that only this front bit will need replacing, if anything. You know, so that should all work out. But I'm just going to have to ghost inside, because as you can see, it's fairly locked up tight here. There's a good gap between the two, which I don't know how the climbing system is going to work when they introduce it. I don't know if you will be able to climb from water straight out, or if you'll be able to jump from here and into a climb on the wall. But let's just turn ghost off again for a moment. But then what we do is we just pull that, and this opens up quite nicely to allow us in and out and whatever else, and it's here, so we can just hop across there and hop back, and it all works quite nicely. Now, we have wells in the game, and that's all very well and good, but I always felt that having, like, a proper large freshwater body in here would have been more useful, and so that's what I made, because then we don't have to worry about the well filling up or being taken out, because it's always there and it's always going to be there, and it's just the lake kind of coming through the rock. The only thing that will make that change will be if they start allowing us structures that prevent the flow of water and stuff like that, but you know, we'll have to see. But what I was thinking, because as you can see, there's nothing up here, or nothing in here apart from support pillars, the well, and this elevator mechanism, which, you know, we've got a fair way up to go. And so I was thinking defensively, Joel Joe Bylos said that, you know, thinking defensively was the thing to do when building your structure, especially with sieges. I'm just going to pop that back to noon so that we don't lose the light. But, so I was thinking, what's the best way to defend against anything? Yeah, and that tends to be bottlenecks, chunking down both your problems generally, but also your enemies down into small and manageable groups. Yeah, easy, straightforward, not a problem. And so again, even if the enemy have managed to somehow either open the gate or destroy it and whatever else, climb up the outside, then they are now still stuck on this lower level. Now, once we've tamed horses and things, I was thinking that this may very well be the place where we use for storing stuff, keeping horses. Is that actually coming down? Yeah, it's just taking its time. But as a result, you know, I thought this would be a good place just to have things like that. Yeah, and I'm sure that you guys can hear upstairs we've already got some thralls working, and I'll show you where I got those guys from in a sec. There is a camp just over there from the Black Hand that I've been poaching people from, so there's that. But once it's touched down, cool. Right, now let's take this up. Now this, firstly, is slow moving. I think it's mostly slow moving just because of the distance, because there's another elevator that we've actually got in here up at the top, just to convey us between a couple of levels, which, again, it moves more swiftly. But as you can see, this is quite claustrophobic. You can only fit a certain number of people on this elevator really at a time. And so with it being a long journey up that tends to be quite slow, you know, if you're just like me and this is your, you know, you're here and you're here to just come home, essentially, then this will work quite well. You can just rumble all the way up to the top and there's no fuss and it's not that much of an issue. However, if you're an attacking group coming up here to try and get onto the upper floors, firstly, you've just put yourself into the longest kill box ever, which can have oil, grenades, arrows, whatever you like, just launched down here. I mean, I'd be somewhat cautious with the grenades, but again, gas grenades, I believe, are a thing, and so dropping them down here would kill the people but not harm the structures, as far as I'm aware. Haven't done as much experimentation with the orb grenade things so far, because that's something that I want to take a look at in another video. But getting to the top, anyone who jumps off that is dead, by the way. I have tested. Maybe not deliberately, but I did, right? As said, it's not quite finished because I'm still working out exactly how to put this roof on so that it's all enclosed, just due to the angles. Again, whilst these, I'm tempted to put archers and people up here, again, just as lookouts, maybe some warriors that can jump on people if they get this far. But again, now we've got this other elevator, but if we use this one seems to be a little bit quicker, and I don't know whether or not it's enclosed, just because it's enclosed that it seems, or not enclosed that it seems quicker, but it just seems to be. But then, you know, we've got these other places that were, again, me trying to take advantage of space where I'm just going to stick an archer or something like that, see if they actually get long shots from up there. But also, more importantly, we've got the all-important Trebuchet, and I've already been firing boulders down on the settlement down there. In fact, just for you guys, let me just siege boulder. There we go. Let's wrong one. Let's please. There we go. Let's open this up. Stick. No, I'm pulling from the wrong place. There we go. Stick that in there. Yes, there are some other building materials and bits and pieces in there that probably shouldn't be, but let's fire that, and it should. There we go. We destroyed what seems to be a cage. There we go. But yeah, no, I've just been harassing them with that. And as a result, though, now if we head down a few floors, that's all closed off for support reasons there. But yeah, we've got a fair amount of open space in here. But also, if they want to get to our more useful stuff or whatever else, then they're going to have to come down here. This is where I have made the room that I will be kind of setting myself up in as a survival thing. Obviously, as and when Hannah comes on again or whatever else, then we'll be able to have she'll be able to claim whatever space she wants, basically. But also, again, I've noticed that the NPCs will do this with these low kind of ceiling / floors in here, and as a result, it's yes, maybe they'll improve the AI to the extent that when they run into something like this for too long, they will duck. But at the same time, hopefully, you know, it won't be too much of an issue, and it might just be me taking advantage of the AI as it stands. You know, if you've got enough people swarming your base, then potentially that's not going to be as much of an issue just due to volume there, you know. But if you've got that bottleneck, if you've got those enemies kept in that one place, then again, you're going to be able to cut them down more easily. You're going to be able to trim out their numbers, and it really depends on what they're going to be capable of doing. I mean, if they've got siege engines, if this this roaming NPC army that comes in whenever the purge comes in is going to be kind of laying waste as a result of having a time for them to stop and build kind of siege weapons and things like that, then yeah, we might be in a bit more trouble. Also, another thing I tested, NPCs will just do this right here, which again leaves me at the top of the stairs there, hacking at them with stuff. But yeah, all of these guys, I pulled them in from the oh, these guys haven't loaded in properly. They're missing shins, and this guy's missing a face. But yeah, these guys, as said, there's the Black Hand. In fact, probably see it better. I think it's over this side. Yeah, you got the Black Hand camp just over there, which I was just jumping across, nabbing some, and then there's also the ship and the camp further over from there, which allowed me to go and basically grab whoever I needed. So we've got our cook, our carpenter, smelter, armor smith, the tanner, the blacksmith there, and the alchemist all sat around. Now, one thing that I was thinking of but haven't really... I mean, this is the floor above the entrance as well, by the way, which means that then also we've got our kind of rampart defenses here, where again we've got blocks and we've got stuff up here, and so we've got the drawbridge, and we're going to have archers up here able to just pop arrows down into people either coming across on the lift or who have managed to get to our little bottleneck area there, you know, who are either trying to climb up or not. Now, there was one other thing that was anti-siege which they introduced, which I haven't really been able to take. In fact, hold on, did I close the door down there? No. But there was one thing that they introduced which I tried to make work, but I haven't been able to take advantage of just yet, just because it didn't seem to want to snap into place, kind of like the drawbridge didn't and whatever else as well. And that is the Cauldron of Boiling Oil, which just didn't seem to want to snap into place to allow me to use it. I don't know if that was just me trying to place it in the wrong place, because I believed you needed to build kind of a crenellated wall and then place it. So that's what I tried to do, and it just didn't want to work. Whether or not I was maybe just placing it the wrong way or whatever else, I don't know, but it just didn't seem to want to sit in place. But the reason why, again, also I have built it in this area, and why I have built it as I have, with being very tall, actually has another couple of purposes, which I don't think will be as useful in other biomes as well, which is another reason why I say I will probably be building, taking the lessons that I've learned about the stability system here, and going and taking them to kind of apply elsewhere. Because the one thing that I thought would be, I would use a main pillar for the center of the structure, give or take, and then I would use lots of support pillars to kind of keep it going, up, to keep it kind of steady. Now, obviously, there's a problem in that then limits space just due to the support pillars being in the way. But also, the other thing that I learned was just that the support pillars don't do necessarily what you'd expect them to do in every case. They don't seem to necessarily be able to bear weight in the way that seems most intuitive. There are some kind of odd limitations at times. to it. I don't want to go up there. I want to come around and out onto the place where the trebuchet is. But yeah, the other thing that I built this, the other reason why I built this is because as much as it's quite hazy at the moment, it has been said by an NPC who I still haven't actually been able to find in the game to show you guys. The NPC was purely something that I spawned in at one point to take a look at to sate my own curiosity, and I unfortunately bumped into some spoilers. But towers like the one that I'm looking at right now have a flame on top, and apparently those flames will either change or become brighter or something like that when the Purge army invades past the curse wall. And as a result, that is our big signal that they're coming. Yeah, I would imagine that there may very well be like a game kind of alert as well that comes up in the middle of the screen, like when you're carrying too much or whatever else. But if they want to not have that, or if they want people to just be more aware of what they're putting in the game, then they put in the towers there. And we've got one tower over there, which I know is lit at the moment, even though it's hard to see with both my draw distance and the haziness as is at the moment. But also, I believe, yeah, there's one over there as well. Yeah, so we've got, and we can see a good stretch across the curse wall from this side. And in theory, that out that way is going to be another biome, because that's where the pirate captain, Jamira, something like that, she told us that there are islands out there with human-built structures on that weren't like giant structures, and they weren't. They seem to be specifically built for people, and so as a result, that is probably going to be another biome, which means that may very well be one of the places that the Purge comes from. And so we've got a good view of that, and we've got a good view of two of the warning towers, and now the sun's actually going down again. But as a result, this is me trying to like plan out and think defensively, you know. And again, I want to see what I can do in the other two biomes, because obviously if out that way is all islands and water and stuff like that, then yes, I might be able to build with everything that I've learned, I may be able to build a more extensive, more city-like kind of new Atlantis sat on the water out there. But in regards to the lands seemingly to the north that seem to be that I assume are the alpine biomes. Alpine biome rather, that they want to introduce. With that, I'm interested to kind of see what there is, because there might be some bodies of water, but if it's more mountainous, if it's more difficult to build on, then you might see me building a large megastructure like this, but building it up the side of a cliff, or building it kind of somewhere that's harder to reach, purely due to on-ground accessibility, which again might also not be as inaccessible as it is now due to the climbing system. But yeah, there we go. Now we can see that there are flames both in there and in the other tower over there. But that seems to be some kind of furnace, kind of ruin, which seems to pump flame out periodically. These towers, though, these seem to be the warning towers. But as a result, guys, as I said, it's not finished. I've still got kind of things that I want to do down on the island there. I've still got things that I want to add to this place, and obviously with Hannah, and then also to an extension Owen, and just more stuff that I want to put in here. You know, we're going to be building more. Also, the unfortunate thing is with each patch and stuff like that, they have reset the recipes here. And so, you know, they've added new things in, like the improved campfire, which I've not taken a look at yet. But also I've had to redistribute my points. And now this is one of the things that I kind of have an issue with in regards to the way that they're doing the points, and the fact that there is, at the moment at least, a level cap and stuff like that. Because I can understand that maybe they want people to specialise within a clan Yeah, within people on a server, they want, especially one of their kind of proper online servers, they want people to be like, this is the builder, these are warriors, these are this, that, and the other, and maybe have more of a to and fro so that there's a reason for more interaction between people. You know, and I completely love that idea, especially for role-playing servers. I think that's a really useful, kind of valuable idea, that people are not forced into roles, but obviously just due to the disparity in points, you're encouraged towards one. I like that idea. The thing with this, though, is that I'm playing on a single/co-op kind of setup here, so that I can have Hannah and Owen and maybe, you know, a couple of other people at most come in and join me. But beyond that, I'm not actually have it, you know, it's all within my control. I'm not having to worry about other things. I can play it by myself without issue to record for you guys. And so as a result, you know, having now looking at this and going, right, well, we've got all these recipes that I would still like to have access to, especially the religious ones for the bits and pieces that they've got. And like, I couldn't even afford a throne. The siege cauldron here I actually reset and got rid of because it just didn't seem to be working for me, you know. And so it's again, like, I've got a good amount of stuff, but considering that this is a single player game and I don't feel like, you know, it doesn't seem like I should really need to reset every time just to get different stuff. But as a result, also though, as they've reset everything, some of the other blueprints that I seem to have gotten, including the ones from the dregs, which you saw me get from that red book with Hannah before, they've gone walkies, and I don't have access to them, because otherwise I was planning on building, after I'd finished this place, I was in preparation for the traps and the orbs and some of the other stuff I was looking at doing. I was planning on also making myself some of the reptilian armor, maybe making the others some as well if I had enough bits and pieces. But now I'm going to have to go back into the dregs and sort myself out with both the materials for it as well as the other bits and pieces, the actual blueprints, the actual recipes for it as well. But, you know, well, that'll have to wait for another video. But also, there's one final thing which I felt this trebuchet would be particularly good for. And that is something that we've experimented with before. And that is, if they get to the top, if they get to taking us all on and aiming to kill us all, then what we need to do is make a quick escape. And that quick escape, I feel, is best served very much with the trebuchet as an escape mechanism. So, arguably, we should be aiming for the water over there. Oh no! I've just knocked it. And now I'm aiming at a wall, which we don't want to do. And now I need to grab a boulder because I didn't think this out particularly well. Just grab one of those. Yep. Stick that in there. But this is the second time that I've tried this escape. And the last time I did this, I specifically left my stuff behind. So hopefully I'm gonna... God damn it, why can't I stand? There we go. Here we go, guys. This is the second time ever of making the trebuchet escape from the top of the fortress. And then we just have to hope to hit the water. Are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make it? Yeah! And there we go. Our base has been taken by the enemy, but we have survived. We have fled successfully as a result of launching ourselves fully from the top of the tower all the way down into the water below. And so, you know, we're trying to take some things into account here, guys. You know, let me know in the comments what you guys think we also need to take kind of stock of. What else do you think the Purge might have that might pose a threat to our basically moat surrounded new home in this part of the exiled lands. Oh, apparently my stomach hurts. Do I have food? I have one food. There we go. We can ditch that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, because obviously, you know, I as I've said, I'm taking advantage of how at the moment the AI is unfinished. They may very well sort the AI out and fix things so that it's kind of better for us overall to one extent or another. But at the same time, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get the full range of movement for an NPC as we have as players. And so I feel like this is a fairly safe bet, both with the island here being completely surrounded by wall and water, but also having the drawbridge and the gates and the elevators. Even the stairs that are coming up to here are not actually touching the ground, so they will have to jump to get onto them, you know, which is fine for our thralls, because even if they come running off the wall to go and, you know, defend this place, then we can still pick them back up and put them back in position after whatever combat has happened. But otherwise, any enemy trying to do it is going to run into the bottom of the stairs and they're going to be stuck. At least until such time as they can path or improve the AI to the extent that they can get to us. So, is there anything that I'm missing, guys? I mean, obviously, maybe they will have sorcerers amongst their group, so that might pose problems. Obviously, a god avatar would make short work of this entire facility, this entire compound and the tower itself. But again, that would suggest that they'd be able to kind of have that ability to create the various god avatars as well. You know, we've got a fair amount of defensiveness and kind of taking account of both the limitations that we have, the limitations that the enemy has. But I'm sure that there are still some things that I have missed somewhere, and as a result, let me know if you guys can think of anything. You know, let's turn this into a bit more of a collaborative thing, so that I can make sure that our base, when this stuff happens, can be the place to hide from the enemy and take care of us all, you know. But otherwise, as said, let me know what you guys think. If there's anything I've missed, please let me know. If you know how maybe the cauldron works, or if it was just bad luck on my part or bad placement on my part, then let me know. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, then please drop us a like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care.